Next, Jim is going to come talk to us. He's the current president of Madison-Goodlettsville Club, and talk about how they are working to save their club and go forward with it. Jim?
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
Again, my name is Jim Closser. I'm with the Madison-Goodlettsville Club, just north of Nashville, still in Metro Davidson County. And our club has had difficulties. I'll just be very blunt with you. I'm going to lay some stuff out here with you here today. Club founded in 1957, the year I was born, 55 years ago, 56 this year. In its heyday, 1992-3, we had a high of 64 members. At its low ebb, 2 years ago, year and a half ago, 16 members. The club has enjoyed some really good successes through the years. We have one of the distinctions of many years being the highest giving club per capita in the district. Very blessed in that regard. All members are Paul Harris Fellows, excepting the brand new members that have just recently come in the club. So we do have a storied history and a rich legacy to Rotary. The bad news, the decline. And this is my judgment, of course. It's all I've got to go on, basically. And that is, Madison economically has experienced a decline. We sit in a major retail area in North Nashville, and that retail area has, metamorphosed its way down this direction and other areas. And so the economic prowess of Madison has certainly not been good the last 10, 12, 15 years. I believe another reason for the decline of our club is that businesses, and I'm curious to know if you experience this, businesses are less willing today to pay for their members' dues or their employees' dues for the club dues. Are you experiencing that? Yeah. And so it falls back on the individual member, and they're not willing to step up and write the check. And I think that's been a major factor. And I'll just get, systemically, I really believe why our club really suffered the last bit. Fundamentally, club leadership. Leadership, leadership, leadership. Traditionally, we've had a succession run for leadership, and that is a member then becomes a board member, or gets on a committee, maybe becomes a board member, chairs a committee, becomes then potentially, secretary, then treasurer, then president-elect, and then president. That wasn't happening. The board would just say, okay, Dan, you're going to be our president next year. Well, Dan just joined the club. I mean, he's never attended a conference. He's never been involved in leadership in the club in any manner. All of a sudden, he's thrown in, and he doesn't understand Rotary at all. And that happened time after time after time. There was these folks just didn't have much interest in Rotary, I'll just say it, didn't understand it, it just wasn't part of their fabric. And that was a huge, huge, huge mistake for our club. Well, you can imagine what statement that makes to members at large. It's hard. It's just hard. It's not what Rotary stands for. It's not what any of us believe Rotary is about. But your folks that didn't understand what maybe we understand about Rotary were running like flies. And so the club reached its low end. I was not excited about any of the above. And in fact, when Jerome was visiting, I said, Jerome, got to talk to you. And I'm one that wants to do it right or not do it. That's just the way I'm wired. That's the way the Lord crafted me. And I recommended to Jerome that we consider disbanding our charter and closing the club. He wasn't too excited about that and understand that. And a recommendation like that is hard for someone like me who's got 27, 28 years of attendance. So he challenged us to go back and rethink that. And so, don't take this comment wrong. I convened a meeting of myself and 3 other what I call key past presidents of our club. Not in sunshine, at one of our offices, and just have a heart-to-heart. And I said, look, we need to save this thing or close it down, one of the two. And the bottom line was that we go back to the board with this, but we recommended to the board that Don Knotts, who is not here today, but a past president, that he take the club as president that next year, meaning last year at this point in time, and I would help him. And then I would take it the next year, he would help me. And then during those 2 years, we would try and get a footing back, try and get succession going, try and get some recruitment going, try and have a Rotary meeting that looked and felt like a Rotary meeting. And that's what we did. The other, and that's been successful to some manner, I believe. The other thing that we've done, we meet Tuesdays at noon. We do a club assembly, the third meeting monthly, and what I do there, we have a board meeting prior to that club assembly, at some point prior to that club assembly. I report out actions of the board to the club. What's happening there, I have a committee people report, I have a treasurer's report, secretary gives a report, and we try and have a little engagement there, so the club knows what's happening. There was no information coming to the club members at large. We try and educate them on Rotary. We have a Rotary Minute every club meeting, so that we have a little information coming down the way. Now, have we arrived? No. We were in ICU on life support. The ventilator was on, running heartily on overload. I'm telling you what, I think maybe we've been weaned off the ventilator. We are still in ICU. Maybe a step-down unit is in our future within the next year or so. We might make it to a normal room here by the end of next year, and maybe discharge within the next 18 months, 2 years. I mean, really, it takes time to do that. One thing we have talked about, it is the Madison/Goodlettsville Rotary Club. And I'll just be candid, Madison-Goodlettsville kind of clash a little bit. Goodlettsville is a township, is a city. Madison is a burb of Metro Nashville. And the two don't jihad very well. We've had some issues trying to get, frankly, Goodlettsville people to join us, just to be blunt about it. So we've contemplated, the board has voted at some point in time to consider a name change, possibly what's happened in this community, as I understand it, Jerome. Maybe renaming our club the Rivergate Rotary Club, meaning no township moniker, but I think that's been run up the flagpole by the district and could potentially be blessed in that regard. So today, we've got a good group on the board, I believe. They're engaged, I think they're enthused. We have a president-elect who will follow me, Jeff Lancaster. He's really a brand new Rotarian. Been in the club 3 years and nearly quit. 18 months ago, and I said, Jeff, hang in there, buddy. Just bear with us. We're going to. And here he is. He came to Pets. He's on fire. I mean, he's just on fire. Generally, I kind of run by the book, and activities, whatnot, come to the board, be approved, and then, well, he's just doing stuff. And okay, I'm out of the way. You just go, man. Just do it. And I'm not about to rain on his parade. So now we've got president-elect in place. He's got his president-elect and secretary in place. So the succession thing is happening, and we're rolling. We've begun a couple new events, or not events, but projects. We've co-opted with Walmart to give us a bicycle and a helmet every month, and we're partnering up with elementary schools, and we use those bikes and helmets for citizenship awards, public attendance awards, however the school may choose to use them with the guidance counselor involved. I have the community liaison officer from the Madison precinct come out with his police bicycle, talks about bike safety. The kids love to see a policeman with all this stuff, and so that's been a very good thing. So again, have we arrived? No. We're on the right track. I tend to believe we are. We're back doing what I think Rotary's clubs need to do. And I would just, in my closing remark here, I'm not sure I am on time, I would just encourage us all, maybe I'm preaching to the choir, and again, if we go back and be mindful of what happened to our club, I think what happened was, again, leadership. Understand Rotary. Just don't become a member, become a Rotarian. Don't become a member, become a Rotarian. Understand what Rotary is about, and you can't do everything in Rotary. I mean, boil it down to what your club's going to focus on and move on. And it is about service. It's not about me. It's not about Jerome. It's about service, and just get out of the way and serve. I mean, that's really what it's about. And hopefully, I think those 2 or 3 things have resonated with our club, and I think we're moving forward. Get your members involved, and that system of rotation throughout, and I think you'll enjoy a level of success. I'm happy to answer any questions. I rambled pretty quick on that, but happy to reflect on any questions you might have.
How about the rest of your,
Sure.
do you have all your committee chairmen set up? And
I'm gonna say no, we don't.
Good.
We just don't. We're trying to do the basics, trying to get folk involved in whatever resonates with them at this stage of the game. And we'll add a layer, we'll add a layer, we'll add a layer. You know, that may be really brash at a district conference to say that, but that's what we're doing. Go back to fundamentals and try to get people engaged of whatever they're excited about, and then we'll just keep adding those layers. Yes,
Are your
ma'am.
members feeling really good about the club, that they want to bring their friends and associates in?
Yeah, I think more so than ever before. I mean, a Rotary meeting, I mean, we start at 12 o'clock. At 12:25, I rang the bell. I've got, you know, prayer pledge and before we test, and ours is have fun, and number 6 doesn't make money. I mean, I don't know, we do those kinds of things. And speakers are important. I mean, we all know that, you know, get a speaker every time. And then at 1 o'clock, we're wrapping it up and try to bring the formality back. And yeah, we can have a little fun too, but I don't know. Did I answer your question? I'm sure I did. That's it. Thank you.
I want to say I'm proud of Jim and them. They did broach me back about 3 or 4 years ago, I guess about 3 years ago with their club. And we did talk quite a few times, and Jim did go back and challenge the past presidents, and I think that's the way that their club has been saved so far and will continue. I think they're on a great track. I think looking at the name change is something that's important. We talked earlier about, you know, if I was a 50-year-old club sitting where I'm sitting today, called Franklin, if you look at your brochure, we're in Cool Springs. So would I still want to be called Franklin, or would I be called Cool Springs? And that's something the club has to think about. So even though you're a 50, 60-year-old club, you know, we talked about don't get tied to a room to hold your membership down. Don't get tied to a name. You don't want to be changing name just to change, but sometimes that also can be a restriction to getting new members, especially as the demographic changes in your area. So I think they're on a great path for success. So thank you, Jim.
Thank you.